Greetings. Today's topic is physical therapy, and I'm very, very delighted to have two very, very special guests with me today. Dr. Jack Wong and Dr. Emile U. Paradorn, and they are a part of Aspire. I have had very many encounters with physical therapy, and because I'm off balance, my walking is compromised. And I have a story to tell you about what has happened to me. I was at physical therapy at a certain place, and there was a room full of people. And we started conversing. Found out that we were all getting the exact same treatment, but we all had different types of problems: car accidents, rheumatoid arthritis, potpourri of different types of things. And going to Aspire has kind of changed my mind about physical therapy. First of all, we should know what physical therapy is. Doctor, would you please tell me what physical therapy is?
Well, physical therapy is a ever-evolving field. It started back during World War One, and has evolved so much. Initially, it started off with all you need is on-the-job training. Then you need a certificate, an associate's degree, bachelor's, master's. Now you need a doctorate, and because it keeps on changing, everybody's perspective what is physical therapy has changed. And one of the biggest reasons is that physical therapy is very neglected. It adapts many treatment styles from other types of medicine. So physical therapists could do massage, like a massage therapist, does exercises like a personal trainer, works on posture, like an Alexander therapist, does manipulations like a chiropractor, and so forth and so forth. So it depends on somebody's experience. You might go to a physical therapist who kind of specializes more on massage, so you think physical therapy is more massage therapy based, but it varies so much. Right? Just like in any other medicine field, you could specialize in orthopedics, which is trying to remove someone's pain, or you could specialize in neuro and helping somebody who has multiple sclerosis or strokes and so forth. Work in cardiopulmonary, pediatrics. So it's ever evolving field that changes. But regardless of what type of physical therapy you see, the main goal is very simple. It's to get people moving. Okay? And get people moving, very simple. If you have lower back pain, you're not going to move. So we must find out why do you have the back pain, remove it so you can move. If somebody has a spinal cord injury and they're not walking properly, we try to figure out why is that occurring and how to strengthen those muscles and those nerve connections and get the person moving. If you had a heart attack, and the problem with a heart attack is that you usually get it by not moving, right? Living a sedentary lifestyle. And once you get the heart attack, you're supposed to move more and more and more. But what happens is that you might compromise your chest pain and your heart attack. So a physical therapist will kind of figure out the right balance to get you moving, right? So bottom line is, the purpose of physical therapy is to get people moving.
Well, thank you, Dr. Emile U. Paradorn. I like that. I like what you said. But I have a personal physical therapist, and he's Dr. Jack Wong.
Yes.
And I enjoy coming to physical therapy, and I know that there have been many a time that many a person played hooky from physical therapy. But when it's enjoyable, you want to go. And the goal is for you to be better. Dr. Wong, how did you get into physical therapy?
Well, I was in college at the time, and I took a course on adaptive aquatics. So essentially, you work with people of all ages and disabilities in a pool setting. So at the time, that was my first time working with anybody with disabilities. And I was assigned a girl who was born with cerebral palsy. So she was unable to walk efficiently on land, but when you put her into a pool, because of the buoyancy of the water, she was able to swim and walk a lot better. So when she first approached me, I asked her what her goal was, and she told me she wanted to try out for a swimming team. She was about third grade. So at the time, I had no PT experience whatsoever. I was an athlete, so I knew how to work out. So needless to say, I worked out with her for a year through range of motion exercises, strengthening. I created a individualized, customized plan for her. And when she tried out for a swimming team, she made the team. So this was very inspiring to me because I had no prior knowledge of working with people with disabilities, but I saw that what I did made a positive effect on her lifestyle for future years to come. And that really inspired me to look more into physiotherapy.
I like when you said you customize her physical therapy, and that's what I did not see in the many places I went for physical therapy. Not only do you customize, you do something very special with an iPad. Tell me about, tell my audience, what do you do with the iPad, Dr. Wong?
So with my iPad, we have an application in which we record how a patient walks, and then we also use that as a method to compare the interventions I give my patients versus their baseline. So it also gives the patient confidence in that what we do for them is improving their progress. So it's like a monitor.
Not only is it a monitor, but you send it to the patient computer, to our mail, and I'm able to look at it and do those exercises. Because there's many times when you've given so many exercises, by the time you get home, you don't know what to do. But I can monitor myself and do the exercises with you or with myself while looking at the computer. And that's what makes it so extraordinary what I'm doing, because like I said, I've been many places, but this place I really feel comfortable. And another thing, you pay attention to small details about a patient. Okay. Um, what made you so, what made you get into physical therapy? You said uh, that patient, and what do you plan to specialize? Do you plan on specialize on any different aspects? Because Dr. Emile U. Paradorn said that there's different aspects of physical therapy. So could you please tell us if you care to specialize in a certain aspect of it?
As of now, I'm planning to specialize in orthopedics and neurology because that's the patient clientele for our clinic. But there's nothing stopping me from branching out to other specialization.
Now, I'm looking at a wonderful sign, and it says Aspire. Dr. Emile U. Paradorn, could
You
you
call
tell?
me Dr. E. So
Oh,
that's easy.
I'm so sorry.
Dr.
He's
E.
commonly known as Dr. E.
Yeah.
Could you please tell me a little bit about this Aspire?
Well, Aspire was created to be pretty much almost like I hate to say it, but the anti-hospital type of scene. No, we didn't want to be like a institution where the front desk is very rude, and then like the physical therapy is all mundane, and everything's like white and and essentially we want to create a center where it's very lively, a lot of music, everybody's friendly, everybody knows your name, and literally we clap when people get better with walking. We all get excited because we see the progress. So we pride ourselves in making like a family type of atmosphere. We have physical therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy, something called a flow tank, and a couple of other services. So essentially, we wanted to like more like a one-stop shop type of thing in a midtown convenient location. So that's what we're all about, providing quality care, because unfortunately, all the stories that you mentioned about the other places that you've been to, it's a lot of times is they're just unaware what is capable. And whenever we have students come to our clinic and see our center. Our space is quite large, like 6,000 square feet. It's actually one of the largest ones in New York City. They see how nice it is, and we very simply say, this is the house that real physical therapy has built, right? Because this is what can achieve, if you do things the right way. So that's what we're about.
I have seen small children.
Yes.
What different types of therapy do you have again?
We have speech therapy, occupational therapy, and physical therapy, and we have something called a float tank in addition to that.
I understood, Dr. Wong, that recently Aspire was on Nightline.
That's correct.
Okay, what was that about?
So one of the owners, Rob Schreier, was on Nightline talking about the effects of float and float tank. So there's a lot of research done that it helps relax muscle, improve sleep, and those are some of the beneficial effects of using a float tank.
Yeah. It's a beautiful tank. It's very simple. Imagine 11 inches of water, 1,000 pounds of salt. So as soon as you lie in it, you float up like the Dead Sea. And there's a tank, so it cuts the lights off. You can't see anything, can't hear anything. So it's sensory deprivation. And the whole goal is to get to a theta wave state. And that's the state when you first wake up, where you're kind of drowsy, but you're alert but not so alert. And that's, if you notice, that's when we're most creative. We think about these great ideas, and that's why some writers keep a pen by the side to write stuff down. So the whole purpose of that tank, and according to research, you get to that state. So we're very proud to have a tank. Actually, we just got a second tank, so it's great. So it's been doing very well.
Dr. Wong, specializing in neurological problems. What have you found most helpful that you do at Aspire?
Well, every patient comes in with a different set of problems, especially for neurological conditions. If someone comes in, for example, with Parkinson's, they might present totally differently. So one of the things we do at our clinic with the customization of a program is we pretty much break it down to their long-term goals, short-term goals, and then our interventions are based off of their goals and what makes them more efficient, whether it's a gait deficiency they want to work on, or they just simply want to roll in bed easier, maybe walk to the bathroom after waking up in the morning.
Okay, thank you. How did you come up on the idea of creating Aspire? How did you develop? And I understand that you have partners.
Yes, I have partners from Dr. Robert Schreier and Marissa Barrera. Essentially, we're like-minded individuals. We want to create a center all about, bottom line, getting people better. That's a very simple. Our first goal, our last goal is patient care. So, to be honest, it's very simple. When you align yourself with people who are like-minded, like Dr. Jack Wong and other individuals we have on board, everything's pretty simple. Everybody just cares, compassionate. We just love hanging at work. We have silly competitions like volleyball amongst the staff, but we do a lot of many different things. It's fun, right? And they always say that if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, and that's how we feel.
Oh, that's Confucius.
Confucius,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. I think that there should is there any type of monitoring of different types of physical therapy agencies, or is it monitored? Is it monitored? Like I told you about the story about, I went to this physical therapy place. There were people with all different types of illnesses and ailments. I said I saw my old student who works for Christie's auction house, Alfonso Fonseca. He had been in a car accident. Other people had all different types of things. Is there anyone that monitors, that come down, these different, because sometimes it could be a scam. This is what I'm trying to say. Sometimes it's a scam. It's a scam for your insurance. And there were times that I felt very uncomfortable going to these places.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so what type of monitor is there for this sort
Yeah.
of thing?
It's so unfortunate. It really makes the good clinics' jobs much more harder. Like unfortunately, like in Florida, and actually in Brooklyn, leads the country in fraud, in Medicare fraud, right? Actually, I think the top 10 places, like 3 of them in Brooklyn, 2 on Long Island, 1 in Queens. So, no, like 5 or 6 of them are in New York City alone. So what happens is that they look at all of us much more closer. The physical therapy field actually got bumped up a notch in the level of monitoring. So the biggest change that they're doing in the government now is that they're looking at these quality insurances, something called PQRS right now. And right now, they're just collecting data. And they're collecting data. And then the next step is taking all that data and figuring out, well, this person got better here. What did they do differently? All right? And essentially, those places that are considered less quality therapy, in which you only receive like a hot pack or electric stimulation as the only forms of therapy, are being more scrutinized by an insurance company as being less less providers, less quality care providers.
So I've found my physical therapy
Yeah.
place, a place that's going to make me walk like Halle Berry and Catwoman. I found my place. But how about if there's someone out there in the community who would like to find a place for physical therapy, a place where they could eventually feel confident, get better, get respect when they're there, enjoy themselves, know that there's going to be follow-up and follow-through. What do you think this person should do?
Well, first of all, you have options, right? You have options, you have options, you have options. Unfortunately, sometimes a doctor will make you go to their physical therapist, which is very controversial because it's similar how like, a doctor can't own an X-ray machine because everybody will get an X-ray. So there are rules against that, but there are ways to go around it. So first of all, you have options, right? Number 2 is very simple. You just call them up and ask the person, how long is the one-to-one time? Not how long is physical therapy. How long is one-to-one time with a physical therapist?
You know, I'd like to just interject right there.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
please.
You know, you said one-to-one time, and that is what the point that I should have been able to present to you. It wasn't one-to-one time. It was machine, usually machine number 3, machine number 7, lay there, get stimulated for a few minutes, and it wasn't that one-to-one. It wasn't that personal touch. And I saw at Aspire where personalized attention and prescriptions written for you. I don't mean medical prescriptions. I mean prescriptions, individualized prescriptions in physical therapy for you to do. And as I said before, and I'm saying again, it was so wonderful to see Dr. Jack put it on the iPad. Did you come up with that idea? And tell me, you know, a little more about that.
Well, our clinic is always aspiring for new technology, and that was one of the applications we collaboratively thought would help patients perform their home exercise program better. Like you mentioned before, we try to make our program as easy and accessible to the patient as possible because our interventions are beneficial, but the home exercise program is just as important to retain the results to reach the long-term goals.
I like that because exercising at home it's a very lonely thing. But when you can look at your computer and follow those steps, it makes it so much better and it makes you want to do it more. And that's what helps you, exercising at home.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, Dr. Jack,
Yes.
how often do you think someone should exercise? Well, they're given an individualized prescription. How many days? How many times a week? What is a regimen, a routine?
I would say half an hour a day for exercise is usually enough, but depending on the severity of their diagnosis and their plan of care, it really varies from patient to patient caseload.
So it's individualized, just as we said. It's not one size fits all, like as in many of these physical therapy places. Is it? I know you gave me a very beautiful success story. How about you, Doctor?
Oh, so many stories. It's hard. It's just a beautiful thing when you see somebody coming in and can't walk. I have somebody right now. A young woman. Went to many different places, and when she came in, the only thing she could walk was like maybe 10 feet in the parallel bars with a whole bunch of bracing. Now she's walking about like 300 feet with only one brace with a walker, and it's beautiful. We'll all rally behind her. There's so many stories about that. It's hard, really hard to choose one. Because this beautiful thing is when you see somebody determined. Because I think one of my favorite things about doing physical therapy is a very pure relationship. Because you want to get better, I want to get you better. We're on the same team. That's it. And we're gonna get there together, and we're gonna accomplish the task. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Everybody on there pushing the person. The family members are there, and that's it. There's no bureaucracy. There's no games. I just love it.
Your location, it's in mid-Manhattan,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
easy to get to.
Yeah, we chose a location on purpose. It's right there for 35th Street between 7th and 8th. All the number trains go there. The E, the C, right across the street from Penn Station. We have people coming from all over New Jersey, the five boroughs, because it's so easy to get to. And we were proud to be on the ground floor, because that makes a huge difference, especially coming in a wheelchair. It's hard to maneuver in the elevators. So, right there, very convenient location.
A little more about your staff. I told you a story today
Yes.
about I went to a certain brokerage house and I was not treated very well initially. But I told you that whenever I come there is someone always accommodating.
Yes.
And how do you select? How do you choose a staff?
Right.
Dr. Jack, how do you select? How do two of you, choose from the bottom to the, the top man is the person with the finances, but nevertheless, how do you choose people to work?
Well, the thing is, first of all, you have to know what you're looking for. And the number one thing we're looking for is no attitude, right? Because it really bothers me. Because people come in here, we see people with disabilities, we see a lot of people with Medicaid, and these individuals, you think about it in life, they got dealt a pretty harsh hand. They don't have money and they don't have health. But yet they come in here with great attitudes, smiling, laughing. They want to try as hard as they can. And they have a good attitude. And who are you to give that person a bad attitude because your train was 5 minutes late? So we look for people with good attitude. And that's the bottom line. Good attitude and who want to learn. If you do that, we could mold people to any direction we want.
I love that, and I think the type of personality and positive personality, it makes the total environment.
Isn't that crazy? Positive attitude is such a rare thing nowadays, and unfortunately, it's especially in New York City. So it's crazy, yeah.
But when you step through the doors, your doors, there's positive especially your front door man.
Oh yes.
Mr. Odie.
Yes.
He has done everything to help me. When Accessoride has left me, called a cab. It's been absolutely wonderful. Instead of leaving you, as other places have done, standing out, and I have been
Really?
left out in the snow. Yes, I have.
They leave you outside?
In
Wow.
Grand Concourse, Bedford Park. Should I have said that? Well, never. But nevertheless, yeah. Yes. So it's so wonderful that, somebody will stick with you through it from the beginning to the end. Dr. Jack, you're my therapist. I need you to say something. Say something just a little bit more.
Well, like Dr. E mentioned before, the atmosphere at Aspire is like a family. So it's not like when you come in for a treatment, it's you see a therapist and then you go on your way. It's more like a team effort. When you come in, you have a goal in mind, and then when you progress and get better, everybody's cheering you on.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank both of you for being here, taking time out from your very, very, very busy day, your very busy practice. I just hope that everyone decides if there's something wrong to get some type of treatment and seek out the right type of treatment. I really appreciate you being here, and I tell you, you make me feel so confident. Confident that I'll do better and get better. And I'm lazy about the exercising, but when I can look at that screen and work with the screen, and you use technology, and that's really helpful. And I would just like to add about the music in your office,
Oh, yeah.
which I really have a good time with.
Yes, we love our music, yeah.
Yeah. So it really makes such a difference.
Absolutely.
Okay, so is there anything else? I want to tell you, Dr. Jack Wong, Dr. Emile U. Paradorn. I had to practice those names. Is there anything, final things you would like to say to our audience?
The biggest thing is, I would implore everybody to get quality physical therapy. It doesn't even have to be Aspire, right? There is an alternative, right? There is a way to get you moving. Because it's very simple. There's so much research that shows if you don't move, everything's a downhill. When you look at all the research, exercise is the fountain of youth. Besides losing weight, besides getting stronger, everybody knows that. But it helps with your mind, helps with your memory, helps with your mood, right? It helps with every possible thing we want to improve with life. So if you can't exercise because there's a barrier because a neurodiagnosis or pain, there is an alternative, right? There are quality therapy spots. Very simple. If you go to a bad doctor, what do? You go to another doctor. If you go to a bad physical therapist, some people give up on the whole field thinking physical therapy is awful.
So true.
And that's not the case. There are quality places that can make a difference. Please seek them out and make a difference in your life.
And that's what I'm urging you to please seek out the quality places. Please get that therapy that will be so helpful to you.